everyone. My name is Amelia. I've known of Jesus my entire life. I was baptized in the same Methodist church that my parents got married in. I went to preschool in that church. My childhood best friend and I went to VBS every summer and learned all the right stories and sang all the right songs. And even though regular church attendance faded out because of baton twirling competitions or traveling, I thought that I knew Jesus well enough that it didn't matter. The problem was that I didn't know him, I just knew of him. Throughout high school, I had a lack of self-confidence that manifested itself in becoming a classic overachiever. I was a straight-A student, I was a successful competitive baton twirler, I was active in my community, but none of that filled what was really missing in my life. At 18 years old, I became a majorette at the University of Alabama. I moved out of my home state of Florida to a place where I didn't know a single person. Luckily, my team had a weekly Bible study. To be completely honest, I started going to make friends, but what came out of it was so much more. I didn't even own a Bible when I started going, so I shared with a teammate and quickly realized that I also didn't know where anything was in the Bible. Everyone else was flipping to chapters and verses so quickly and referencing other verses that they knew and speaking so openly about their faith. I was stunned and, quite frankly, a little insecure. That was when I asked a teammate, and now a very good friend of mine, Haley Hudson, if I could go to church with her. That Sunday, we sat together in the back of Capstone Church in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The sermon was about a story in Matthew 7. It goes like this. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and it beat against that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Our pastor talked about building your life on Jesus. He talked about how lukewarm Christians fall when hard times come, but Christians who build their life on Jesus rejoice even in trials. I sat in the back of that church and cried, realizing that I was doing this all wrong. I realized that I had heard the words of God my entire life, but I was not doing them. I had built my house on the sand. I would have told anyone who asked me that I was a Christian. I don't think I really knew what that looked like, and I certainly was not living it every day. I know now that the thing that was missing was Jesus. So on our way back to the dorms, I asked Haley if she would take me to buy a Bible. She very patiently answered all of my questions about what all of the different versions were and helped me pick one out. Then I began to study. I started reading my Bible and praying and going to church and figuring out what it actually looked like to have an intimate relationship with God. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and pretend that I've been perfect ever since. I've stumbled. I've had times, sometimes even months, when I've put distance between myself and God because I'm afraid that he would be mad at me for my sins. But every time I mess up, when I come running back, he has welcomed me with open arms. I've lived in Pierre for about 6 months now, and I know that it was God who made everything work out just right for me to be living here today. I know that he wanted me to attend this church and to find fellowship through the Bible study that Scott and Gay host every Thursday. And I know that it's God who placed the idea of being baptized on my heart. In May, my family and I went on a trip to Israel, and seeing the places where Jesus walked, where he ministered, where he died on the cross for me, was the most amazing experience I've ever had. And since that trip, I have never felt closer to God. When I was baptized as an infant, I knew of God, but today I know him. I really know him. Now, I'm the kind of person who likes to be in control, to know where things are going, but lately God has been showing me that I'm not the one in control, that he is, and he is a rock that I can build my house on. So today, I'm ready to publicly surrender control to God, to declare my faith, and to continue my walk with Christ. I pray that my story might give hope to others, and that in some small way, people can see the amazing light and the goodness of Jesus through me.